Group.
Target Adani. Streaming now.
Vanakkam, the South Indian is here and Star of the Week has a very controversial start to it. We are of course going to look at every aspect of Udhayanidhi Stalin's comment on Sanatan Dharma. By now, enough people have said enough things, but we have to look at from every aspect. But you know what? Let's first look at the event at which Udhayanidhi Stalin spoke what he did, which eventually has become a huge controversy. The Tamil Nadu Progressive Writers Association organized the Sanatan Abolition Conclave. Notice the words, Abolition Conclave, on 2nd September at the Kamarajar Hall in Chennai. In the 12-hour conference, they had planned a discussion on the theme title, How to Destroy Sanatana Dharma, as a book on the subject was also set to be launched ahead of the conference. The topics of discussions were several, and I am going to read them out to you for those who did not know or want to know rather. Deadly history of Sanatan, that is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan and women. Tamil norms and Sanatan. Caste theory and conspiracy theory. Tamil music and Sanatan. Sanatan imposition and opposition in media. What is the way to oppose Sanatan Dharma politics or spirituality? Weapon to destroy Sanatan Dharma. So, those are the topics, like in any conference or conclave, these were the topics. My question is, who gave this outfit permission to hold a conclave like this, as it clearly calls to destroy Sanatana Dharma? No, I am not talking really about Sanatana Dharma. It's up to you what you think about Sanatana Dharma. And of course, writing can be progressive, it can question existing norms, it can demolish all existing theories. But when you call to destroy Sanatan Dharma, that's a bit much, because that could clearly create public disturbance and exhort people to unruly activities. There have been several instances. I am against ban of any sort. But when you look at the kind of disturbance that it can create in the minds and also activities of people around you, then obviously the administration is prudent to see that these kind of events or these kind of books do not come out. Once again, I am against banning of anything, but it's only for a few people. But the people at large, you never know, they say we are objecting to this. Now, it is at this conclave that MK Stalin's son, Youth Affairs and Sports Minister of Tamil Nadu, Udhayanidhi Stalin, said how Sanatana Dharma should be eradicated, alleging that it is against equality and social justice. Let's first listen in to what Udhayanidhi Stalin said.
சனாதன எதிர்ப்பு மாநாடு என்று போடாமல் சனாதன ஒழிப்பு மாநாடு என்றும் நீங்கள் இதை போட்டிருக்கிறீர்கள், இதை அழைத்திருக்கிறீர்கள், இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு பெயரிட்டீர்கள். அதற்கு என்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்கள். சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா, இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம். சனாதனம் என்பதை எதிர்ப்பதை விட ஒழிப்பதே நாம் செய்ய வேண்டிய முதல் காரியமாகும். எனவே இந்த மாநாட்டிற்கு மிக பொருத்தமான தலைப்பு வைத்திருக்கிறீர்கள், அதற்கு என்னுடைய பாராட்டுகள். சனாதனம்னா என்ன? சனாதனம் அப்படிங்கிற பெயரே சமஸ்கிருதத்திலிருந்து வந்ததுதான். சனாதனம் சமத்துவத்திற்கும் சமூக நீதிக்கும் எதிரானது. சனாதனம்னா வேற ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. சனாதனங்கிறதுக்கு அர்த்தம் என்ன? நிலையானது, அதாவது மாற்ற முடியாதது.
He just now said that Sanatan, the word has come from Sanskrit. Indeed it has. You know, his own name, Udhayanidhi, some may say it's Tamil, but then Sanskrit also has the same meaning. All of you who speak Hindi, आपको मतलब पता है उदय का क्या मतलब है? सूरज उदय होना. निधि का क्या मतलब है? आपको पता है. तो हो सकता है ना, it is works both ways. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now some may ask, how come a minister, an icon of the DMK, followed what the conclave was recommending in one of its topics, and that being weapon to destroy Sanatan Dharma? Isn't he the minister of all of Tamil Nadu? Of course he is. And of course, Dravidian ideology is based on dismantling Brahmin hegemony, revitalization of the Dravidian languages and social reform by abolition of existing caste systems, religious practices and recasting women's equal position in society. But what was Uday actually thinking? Sanatana Dharma, if seen through the prism of who all it includes, involves all those who practice Hinduism. It could be anybody. Also, I just think that he needs to go back and read a bit because he confuses Varna Ashrama with Sanatana Dharma. Like I said, he needs to read up a bit, then perhaps parrot the lines espoused by some of the most erudite Tamils on the topic like Tandai Periyar and C.N. Annadurai. Now, the BJP latched on to Udhayanidhi's remarks and unleashed a stream of protests, suggesting that he had given a call for genocide. A case was also registered by an advocate called Vineet Jindal with the Delhi Police Commissioner, alleging that Udhayanidhi's comments amounted to hate speech. K. Annamalai, President of Tamil Nadu BJP, in his condemnation spared no words. Listen in to him.
It doesn't mean that it is standing against Hindus. So how do you respond? This is the DMK's new definition after the backlash they have seen across India. The backlash they have seen within Tamil Nadu also. First time I see DMK is trying to give a very new weird explanation that Sanatana Dharma is different from Hinduism. Sanatana Dharma is an eternal timeless Dharma because it doesn't have a ritual. Any religion by its very nature will have a ritual. Will have a way of worship. Will say that you have to see a God only on this particular day. Sanatana Dharma doesn't mean you are into a ritual practice. It's an eternal, all-encompassing Dharma which sees every human being as a God, as a part of the Paramatma. So which DMK will never understand it. Now yesterday they pushed the button too hard because last year the same conference when it was attended by other DMK leaders were about Sanatana Dharma opposing conference. For the first time they pushed the boundary to say Sanatana Dharma abolition conference. So yesterday was very different. First time they used the word there. And after the backlash now DMK is running for cover. They are trying to find a way to twist their statement to say what Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin has said on record is very clear. But to a prepared statement is reading as a speech that it has to be eradicated. How will you eradicate Sanatana Dharma? To eradicate it, you got to take away temples, you got to take away culture, you got to take away the essential religious practice. I am sure DMK will pay a heavy price. Not only for this, for the continuous statements they make after they have come to power. And that is why Tamil Nadu people for the longest time they have kept DMK out of power. After MGR came into the scene, and MGR was seen as a nationalist leader with a Hindu leaning, DMK never had a chance to compete against MGR. Only after MGR died, then DMK came back.
Udhayanidhi Stalin remained adamant even while explaining what he thought was misconstrued and misquoted. This is what he said in his defense.
தமிழ்நாடு முற்போக்கு எழுத்தாளர் கலைஞர்கள் சங்கம் அவங்களுக்கு என்னுடைய நன்றியை நான் தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். ஒரு முக்கியமான விஷயத்தை பேசுறதுக்கு அவங்களுடைய மேடையில் எனக்கு வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்து இன்னைக்கு ஒட்டுமொத்த இந்தியாவுமே அதை பற்றி பேசிட்டு இருக்கு, பேசணும். அதுக்காக தான் நான் பேசினேன். நேற்று பேசும்போதே நான் சொன்னேன் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு, நான் இங்கே பேசிட்டு இருக்கேன், நிறைய பேருக்கு வைத்தறிச்சல் வரும் அப்படின்னு நான் சொன்னேன். அதனால நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி நடந்திருக்கு. நான் திருப்பவும் சொல்றேன், நான் சனாதன கோட்பாடுகளை தான் நான் விமர்சிச்சேன், சனாதன கோட்பாடுகளை தான் நான் ஒழிக்கணும்னு சொன்னேன். அதை நான் பேசிட்டு தான் இருப்பேன். ரொம்ப பைத்தியகாரத்தனமா ரொம்ப குழந்தைத்தனமா நான் ஜெனோசைடுலாம் இன்வைட் பண்ணேன் அப்படின்லாம் சொல்றாங்க. இப்போ நிறைய பேர் இப்போ சில குழுக்கெல்லாம் சமீபத்தில் திராவிடத்தை ஒழிக்கணும், கம்யூனிஸ்டை ஒழிக்கணும் அப்படின்னா திமுக காரங்களாம் கொலை செய்யப்படுறாங்க. இல்ல ஒன்றிய பிரதமர் திரு நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்கள் காங்கிரஸ் முக்த் பாரதா அப்படின்னா அவர் என்ன காங்கிரஸ் பிடிச்சு கொலை பண்ண போறாங்களா? நான் ஒரு கொள்கையை சனாதனம்னா என்ன, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் எதுவுமே மாறக்கூடாது, எல்லாமே நிலையானது அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுதான் சனாதனம். அதுக்கு ஒரு விளக்கம் சொல்றாங்க. எல்லாத்திலையும் மாற்றம் ஏற்படணும், ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கக்கூடாது அப்படிங்கறதா எங்களுடைய திராவிட மாடல். எல்லோருக்கும் எல்லாம் கிடைக்குங்கிறதா திராவிட மாடல். சில வருடங்களுக்கு முன்பு பெண்கள் படிக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னாங்க, பல வருடங்களுக்கு முன்பு பெண்கள் மேலாடை அணியக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னாங்க, கோயிலுக்குள்ள போகக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஆனா ஒவ்வொன்றையும் நம்ம மாத்தி இருக்கிறோம். இதுதான் திராவிட மாடல். அதனால என்ன வழக்கு போட்டாலும் இதனால சந்திக்கிறேன். நான் கரெக்டா தானே சொன்னேன். நான் இப்பவும் சொல்றேன், நான் சொன்ன கரெக்டா தான் சொன்னேன். அதை வேணும்னே அவங்க வந்து எப்பவுமே அது பாஜக ஒரு வேலை, அது ஃபேக் நியூஸ பரப்புறது. நான் எந்த கிடையாதுங்க. இது வந்து நேற்று முன்தினம் இந்தியாவுடைய அந்த இந்தியா கூட்டணியோட வெற்றி வந்து அவங்க வந்து ரொம்ப பாதிக்க வச்சிருக்கு, தடுமாற்றம் கொடுத்திருக்கு. அதனாலதான் ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு திசை திருப்பணும்னு இதெல்லாம் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Is Udhayanidhi Stalin serious? He thinks that girls were allowed to study or allowed to wear the upper garment. Tomorrow he will say sati, he will talk about child marriage. All was because of Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. I think he is confusing all the books, Manusmriti, the Constitution of India. Like I said, he needs to go back and read up a lot. Now, as the row over Udhayanidhi Stalin's remarks on Sanatan Dharma snowballed into a massive political slugfest, his father and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin initiated a podcast series on Monday to criticize the Modi government. This is what Stalin said.
மடங்கு ஆகல, ஏழை பாழைகளோட வாழ்க்கை தரமும் உயரல. இதையெல்லாம் மறைக்கிறதுக்கு தான் மதவாதத்தை கையில் எடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. 2014 ஆண்டு ஆட்சி அதிகாரத்துக்கு வந்த பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி தேர்தலுக்கு முன்னால கொடுத்த எந்த மக்கள் நல வாக்குறுதியையும் நிறைவேற்றல. வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து கருப்பு பணத்தை மீட்டு வந்து ஆளுக்கு 15 லட்சம் தருவோம், ஆண்டுதோறும் 2 கோடி பேருக்கு வேலை வாய்ப்பு, உழவர்களின் வருமானத்தை 2 மடங்கு ஆக்குவோம், சொந்த வீடு இல்லாதவங்கள இருக்க மாட்டாங்க, இந்தியா $5 டிரில்லியன் பொருளாதார நாடாக மாறும், இப்படி எல்லாம் வாயால வட சுட்டாங்க. 10 ஆண்டு ஆக போகுது. ஆனா எந்த வாக்குறுதியும் நிறைவேற்றல. குஜராத் மாடல்னு பொய் சொல்லி ஆட்சிக்கு வந்த நரேந்திர மோடி மாடல் இப்போது என்ன மாடல் என்றே தெரியாமல் முடிய போகுது.
You know, for those who live in the north, this could be something new, but we South Indians have seen this for decades and decades. There are enough and more stories about how the DMK has gone against a particular community, about how they have spoken out of turn and really in disparaging terms against women, against several other people. So this is nothing new. But in all this, the Congress is now clearly in a fix. The India bloc has just concluded its third meeting, and even though Karti Chidambaram came out and spoke in support of Udhayanidhi Stalin, KC Venugopal was very, very circumspect is what I think. While Karti suggested that Stalin Jr.'s comment was given a mischievous spin, he added that Sanatan Dharma is the code for a caste hierarchical society, and those batting for it comes from a privileged segment who are beneficiaries of this hierarchy. But KC Venugopal did not complicate and make a jangri or a jalebi of this entire thing. He obviously carries more weight than Karti Chidambaram and spoke his mind. Listen in.
एक्चुअली हमारा व्यू वेरी क्लियर है. सर्वधर्म समभावना, सर्वधर्म समभावना is the Congress ideology. But you have to understand, every political party have their own freedom to tell their views.
Sir, Jagannath Reddy,
we are respecting everybody's beliefs.
Look, let's be honest. I feel that even as it is gross exaggeration that Udhayanidhi Stalin called for a genocide, but I also feel that Udhayanidhi needs to understand that as a young politician, that statements such as words like eradication of Sanatana Dharma is totally uncalled for and does not behove a minister, someone who's as influential as he is.
इंडी अलायंस 2 दिन से मैं देख रहा हूं, 2 दिन से सत्ता आपको चाहिए, मगर किस कीमत पर सत्ता चाहिए? 2 दिन से आप इस देश की संस्कृति का, इस देश के इतिहास का सनातन धर्म का अपमान कर रहे हैं। इंडी अलायंस के दो प्रमुख दल डीएमके और कांग्रेस पार्टी, इनके बड़े नेता, एक वित्त मंत्री का बेटा और एक मुख्यमंत्री का बेटा, वो कह रहे हैं सनातन धर्म को समाप्त कर देना चाहिए। मुझे बताओ भाई, सनातन धर्म को समाप्त करने के लिए आप तैयार हो क्या? अरे जोर से बोलो, तैयार हो क्या? माताएं बहनें भी बोले तैयार है क्या? इन लोगों ने वोट बैंक की और तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करने के लिए सनातन धर्म को समाप्त करने की बात की है। हमारी संस्कृति, हमारे इतिहास और सनातन धर्म का अपमान किया है, और ये कोई पहली बार नहीं किया है। ये मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कहा था, मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कहा था बजट पर पहला अधिकार, बजट पर पहला अधिकार अल्पसंख्यकों का है। हम कहते हैं बजट पर पहला अधिकार गरीबों का, आदिवासियों का, दलितों का और पिछड़ों का। इन्होंने वोट बैंक की लालच में अल्पसंख्यकों का पहला अधिकार सिद्ध कर दिया था। आज ये यूपीए कहती है, कांग्रेस पार्टी के अध्यक्ष कहते हैं मोदी जी जीतेंगे तो सनातन का राज आएगा। अरे सनातन का राज लोगों के दिल में है, उसको कोई हटा नहीं सकता। और मोदी जी ने कहा है यह देश भारत के संविधान के आधार पर चलेगा, भारत के संविधान के आधार पर चलेगा।
डीएमके जो तमिलनाडु के सरकार को मुख्यमंत्री स्टालिन, उसका बेटा उदयनिधि स्टालिन, वो उदयनिधि स्टालिन सनातन धर्म को समाप्त करने का उद्घोष करता है और कहता है कि हम सनातन धर्म को समाप्त कर देंगे, एबॉलिश कर देंगे। इस तरह की भाषा इस्तेमाल करता है। आप बताइए, ऐसे घमंडिया परिवारवादी इंडी अलायंस को रहने देने का अधिकार है क्या?
Let's talk about what I think is totally unnecessary, because it is coming from a place of where there is complete ignorance. I'm saying it, sticking my neck out. Kasturi Shankar is joining us. She's a lawyer turned actress. Vinita Hariharan, who is a BJP spokesperson. Lieutenant Commander retired Gokul Chandran, who is a political analyst. And Gladstone Xavier, who is a political analyst. Vanakkam to all of you. First to Kasturi Shankar, to you. You know, I think he's mixed up metaphors here totally. I think I think there is no better way to describe that. If you look at it, I think, you know, if I were the organizer of that conclave, I shall hit my forehead 20,000 times to think what I started to do and what it has become. That's because Sanatana Dharma, of course, requires a lot of reforms. There is no question about it. But then what he said, what do you make out of it, Kasturi?
Okay, first let me start by saying every faith requires reforms. That is the nature of the beast. And Sanatana Dharma, by its own name, in its very name, acknowledges that it is eternal, the faith is eternal, but the religion is not. The practices can evolve. That is why it is eternal. Udhayanidhi says it cannot be changed. Matra mudiyadadu, nilayanadu. He clearly missed the memo in English class or in Tamil class. He doesn't know Tamil, okay? Because if he cannot translate eternal to yendrum aliyadadu, with that which will live forever, that is eternal. Not that which will stay the same forever. That is not the meaning. So he doesn't know English. He doesn't know history also, because he has shown no compunctions in, sticking. We call them sticker culture in Tamil Nadu these days. We don't call it Dravida model, we call it sticker model. He has taken credit for educating the female child, for women's liberation, for women being allowed to wear clothes which was not even a Tamil Nadu problem to start with. It was, he has really recreated history to his favor. So he missed history class also. And he missed Sanskrit class also, all language classes, because he's like, Sanatanam came from Sanskrit. So what? Your name also came from Sanskrit.
Exactly.
Your grandfather's name came from Sanskrit. Your mother's name came from Sanskrit. Your Dravida Munnetra Karagam, Dravida came from Sanskrit. What are we talking about? We have to eradicate his party name also, is it? So he missed all the classes in school and went to a hate factory, because that is all he's spewing out. He's spewing out hate. There is no other way to describe it. He's taking a lot of pains now to explain in every statement that he is now giving, all his follow-up interviews. I did not mention genocide. He did not mention genocide, but he did mention eradication. You know who else mentioned the word eradication? Exactly as eradication? A man called Adolf Hitler. A man called Adolf Hitler never said, kill all the Jews. Let's get into genocide. He said, let's eradicate the problem. Let's get more space. Let's go towards progress. If you get rid of certain people, that is what he's saying. If you get rid of a certain belief system, if you get rid of a certain way of life, if you get rid of a certain religion, it is absurd enough that there is an annual meeting organized by people who profess themselves to be atheists, but they will only have the audacity to organize opposition conclaves against Hinduism only.
Right.
And it is bad enough that happens. On top of it, a sitting youth affairs minister, I think youth affairs minister is possibly a Faustian slip there in naming his portfolio. But, a sitting minister for youth affairs and sports is there. He is the son of the chief minister. He is there. And not only does he spew hatred against Hinduism, the sitting minister for the Hindu Religious and Cultural Endowment Board, department of the Tamil Nadu government, the HRC, or literally the temple minister of the Tamil Nadu government, is sitting there. He is part of this conclave.
Yeah, I saw Shekhar Babu.
How will he even go back to work? I don't understand. If you're so hostile to Sanatana, what are you doing inside a temple?
Exactly. Why don't you just resign?
Let me finish. Show your commitment by getting out of our temples. Let Sanatana go to, the dogs. Let it destroy itself. Let Sanatanis take care of Sanatana. And you please stay out. And also, how will you go to the Indie Alliance? How will you go to the Dot Coalition when you are... there is a Shiva Sena proponent in your alliance. There is a Januadari Brahman who leads the alliance. Mamta Di is the biggest benefactor of Kali Mata and Navratri, which is coming up. I don't understand how you can actually go there with a straight face and say you are part of the alliance. You are an embarrassment to the alliance.
I want to talk to Gokul Chandran. Gokul, this is very embarrassing. I think it comes, Kasturi has nailed it, because I said the same thing. He's mixed metaphors. He's not, there is a big problem in his understanding. God help him, God bless him, because he doesn't know either English, Hindi. Also, I started by saying what Kasturi said. He said Sanatana is from Sanskrit, his grandfather's name is from Sanskrit. Now, will we sit and say Kasturi is Sanskrit, Sudha is Sanskrit, but this is not Sanskrit, etc., etc. I mean, someone give me a big break. Podum is what I want to say in Tamil. Enough of this rubbish which goes on. Gokul Chandran, how are you? How is the India bloc going to really take it? I think K.C. Venugopal was very, very circumspect. He said, we believe in Sarva Dharma Sambhav, because there you have Mr. Rahul Gandhi, making temple visits. Well, I'm not talking about soft Hindutva, that's for another conversation. But he goes to temples. I mean, everyone says we are believers. How are you going to handle this embarrassment which has happened to you? Because Sanatana Dharma is not about you, me. Maybe we don't practice Hinduism, maybe we do practice Hinduism. I think he was actually confusing it with what Dravida Munnetra Karagam started with, which is Brahminical hegemony. But for God's sake, Sanatan Dharma is not about Brahmins alone. Gokul Chandran, over to you.
Yeah, thanks Sudha, thanks for the opportunity. See, Kasturi said that Udhayanidhi didn't attend that class, this class, but Udhayanidhi understands one thing very well. Udhayanidhi has attended the class, what the Tamil people need, what the Tamil people require from a government. That Udhayanidhi understands very well. This is not the first time, Sudha. This is the first time maybe the BJP and its supporters like Kasturi are propping it up and making it an issue. But if you take the past history, for past 30, 40 years, right from my birth, from I can read and write, I am hearing this type of statements in Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu people feel it as a security.
But does that make it right? No, Gokul, maybe it happened when you were born.
Right.
No, maybe I was born. I grew up in Tamil Nadu. Does that make it? He really crossed this time. He transgressed the line. I am sorry. This doesn't work.
Even today, in Madhya Pradesh, a person was peeing on a Dalit. In Gujarat, a Dalit girl was stopped from going to school.
If you want to look at the caste, come on, Nancy, let's put up the caste violence graphics right now. I will tell you under this dispensation, Gokul, I have done stories after stories about how the marginalized castes are really suffering under the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. Everyone wants progress. We are not regressive people sitting here, but your defense is very weak today, Gokul Chandran. Just because his grandfather did it, what is this? This is not a custom. This is not a feudal setup that everyone will do the same thing. It is not fair at all. Gladstone Xavier, I will go back to Kasturi. Gladstone Xavier, tell me something. Don't you think that Udhayanidhi Stalin, it is not about that he's appeasing a constituency, Mr. Xavier. Maybe that is what his ideology is. But this time around, he has transgressed all logical limits, I would put it that way.
See, in my opinion, giving more an analytical view of this, as a communicator to a mass and as an appeal to the mass, people in politics continue to make a whole range of statements. You know, we cannot say we have not heard worse statements like these. Sanatana Dharma and the dialogue on Sanatana Dharma in Tamil Nadu, as you very well know, is looking at a whole casteist approach of a particular religion. It's not looking at the eternalism of the religion, but as somebody over here even admitted, all religions need reform. As part of it, this
Mr.
also
Xavier,
needs reform. Now,
Mr.
in Tamil Nadu,
Mr. Xavier, he confused Varnashrama with Sanatana Dharma. These are two different things, sir. All religions require reform, of course.
Please let me complete.
But you are wrong there, sir. It's erroneous.
Yeah, the thing is, when you want to look at it from a different platform, look at the Tamil Nadu platform for the last 120 years. The last 100 years, 120 years, whatever it has been, the entire politics of Tamil Nadu has been on an anti-casteist platform, and the anti-casteist platform was also anti-Brahminic platform, and based on that, this is considered as part of the Sanatana platform. That's how it is being looked at. Now, what he is talking about, we need to take it with a pinch of salt. Not the entire thing, but then look at it. So when he is addressing it, he is looking at it from a caste, how a religion and how politics.
Mr. Xavier, I don't understand what you are saying. You said that some politicians, they are wont to speak like this. Then you are explaining what he said. So I do not know, I mean, I am not getting the message from you. I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you for your patience. Vinita Hariharan, the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Vinita, don't you think your party has really exaggerated it by saying it's a call for genocide? I mean, this is not the first time. I don't want to remind you, because then it will become whataboutery and tit for tat. Some of your leaders also spewing and saying horrific things in Tamil Nadu. But don't you think that genocide bit is a bit much? And also, you know what? A lot of people are wondering, why is the BJP not doing anything more than giving sound bites?
Absolutely not. So I think this, as you said yourself in the show, that he has completely misread the entire concept of Sanatana Dharma, and you've quoted in your screen as well what Sanatana Dharma stands for: honesty, purity, goodwill, refrain from hurting living beings, patience, restraint from hurting living beings, generosity and forbearance is what Sanatana Dharma stands for.
Right.
So is this what Udhayanidhi was referring to as mosquitoes, dengue and all of that, which leads to fever? Because the culmination of Sanatana Dharma as a concept is seva. So what is he talking about? It goes beyond religion, and this is And Sanatana Dharma, the principle of Sanatana Dharma is for all human beings beyond caste, creed, religion, and all of that. So it's a over encompassing philosophy, and I think the entire conference producers themselves do not know the meaning or the ethos of Sanatana Dharma,
Right.
and holding a conference like this against a particular ethos which stands for virtuosity, I think that itself calls for a complete shame on the
you know why
party.
this I'm telling you, Vinita, I'm sorry I interjected, but we were talking in the newsroom about it, Kasturi, and we were saying that what if the usual cliched thing that from a particular community you catch two boys and then you decide that okay, the entire community is prone to terrorism, to do these kind of
Exactly.
activities, you jump at it and you're saying take a chill pill, relax, don't generalize, look at facts. So don't you think that it's pretty much what this man has done, Kasturi Shankar?
Yes, let me start with your question, and then I really want to rebut Mr. Gokul Chandran. But yeah, I think these kind of generalizations have worked very well in the past for the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. With the Brahmin bashing, they take a vulnerable micro minority in the state and they project it as the all-encompassing evil, and it's a very easy go-to card. It's a get out of jail free pass, because you can blame everything. You can blame the drought on the Brahmins, and 97% of the state will believe you, because most of these kind of demagogueries are peddled on people's ignorance. They take advantage of their ignorance. Nobody wants to tell them the truth. I mean, I can tell you every kind of, even in his own speech, the kind of lies he has resorted to. It's just lies. It's just absolutely blatant lies, but there is nobody else to figure it out, And the Brahmin community is really, I don't know, at this point, they've become globalized. They end up going to America and becoming CEO of every multinational because they don't have many options in Tamil Nadu. This is what is happening to the Tamram community. But what happened here is, instead of taking on the Brahmin community, which they have done to great benefit in the past, he started saying Sanatanam. Unfortunately, Sanatanam is, I think that's what Mr. Xavier meant. Mr. Xavier, you thought, that's what you meant, didn't you? When you say politicians will talk of what the masses want to hear, and Sanatanam here means casteism, you meant the Brahminism angle, right? But unfortunately here, our governor R.N. Ravi, or Puducherry governor Tamilisai madam, or Sri Annamalai ji, or anybody in the BJP party, for instance, or any really practicing Hindu,
Right.
not 80% of Tamil Nadu are not Brahmins. This is not about Brahmins at all. Rest of India knows that. Tamil Nadu also knows that. That's why it has backfired, because he didn't pick on a vulnerable, silent community. He picked on the entire belief system. He picked on something that really is not about casteism. He lied and he got caught in his lie, and that's what's working against him. Now I want to tell to Mr. Gokul Chandran, sir, if somebody says something that is against the lies of the DMK, that does not make them a BJP supporter. But nowadays, because of how Congress, yesterday we were witness to many Congress people coming out in Tamil Nadu and giving us hilarious definitions of what Sanatana Dharma means and how it is different from Hinduism. Seriously, you guys are pushing people like me who are neutral. You're pushing us towards BJP. I may become a BJP supporter because it sounds like that's the right thing to do, listening to your argument. Finally, I want to say, these kind of, I think Udhayanidhi needs to start at home. They say charity starts at home. There are Sanatani in DK party. The biggest, most well-known Sanatani in Tamil Nadu today is Mrs. Durga Stalin.
Yeah, this is what, Kasturi, good point for me to tell my viewers that Mrs. Stalin, that is Mrs. Mukha Stalin, is a devout temple goer, which makes her, she goes to temples. Recently she was in Guruvayur. It's her wish to do it. Who's there to stop? And also there was a time when one of the children of Udhayanidhi Stalin was, had posed with a beautiful small idol of Ganesha. Ganesh idol during Vinayak Chaturthi. I mean, the season is right now. There was a big brouhaha. How come you're doing this and all? Maybe they believe in it. Then Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin came out and said, actually, I'm a Christian. I think he's confused. I don't think that he's anything, but he's a very confused man, and he really needs to go and read up. Just because one of his films has done rather well in the recent past, he's taking it too seriously. He needs to get out of that costume and get real and play the role of the minister that he is. Gokul Chandran, I want to come to you, where you said, I just want to ask you, it is a major embarrassment for the India bloc. There are no two ways about it. Priyank Kharge, while I was starting this show, I read about it. Priyank Kharge has come out in support of Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin. Okay, he said, I believe in it also. Maybe, it also benefits him to a great extent. That is his politics. But look at this. This is what everyone was fearing. I mean, the fears have come true, I guess. That this kind of a bloc, which will, like Navagrahas, will look in different directions. That is what it is happening. I think Udhayanidhi Stalin threw the first stone at you. And I think it's becoming a very, very embarrassing situation for you, Gokul Chandran. Go on, Gokul. I think Gokul can't hear me. Gokul, can you hear me one last time, or else I'll go to Mr. Xavier. All right, let me go to Gladstone Xavier. He can hear me? Gladstone Xavier. Mr. Xavier, I want you to tell me that
It's quite feeble.
Sorry?
It's not coming through clearly. Can you hear me?
Sudha.
Go on, Gokul. I'll come to you, Mr. Xavier. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. See, the question you asked regarding the India bloc, see, this is not about politics. We should keep away politics at this time, because the India bloc, when the BJP saw the success of India bloc, they wanted something to divide.
Oh my God.
They're very good in
seriously,
dividing.
Gokul?
No, seriously, very seriously. They wanted to. Otherwise, see, this, as I told, this is not the first time that any DMK leader is making such a statement. And see the language of Amit Shah and JP Nada. Do you approve of that?
Who am I to approve? I'm not part of the BJP or the Congress. I only am a Tamil and I'm a South Indian, and I think what he said was actually beyond ridiculous. Because he doesn't even know what is Sanatan Dharma. If I do not know what is quantum physics, you know what I'll do? Zip up.
Yeah, Sudha, let me complete, please, Sudha.
Yeah, go on, Gokul.
We are all Indians, and imagine a home minister standing in Rajasthan and making all the lies, telling all the lies that they are talking against Hinduism. They want to eradicate Hinduism. He also knows very well that Udhayanidhi didn't mean that.
He meant it, Gokul. I'm sorry, I do not know. I see. I'll go to Mr. Xavier, but I see Vinita. Please go ahead, Vinita. Vinita Hariharan, go ahead. You have to unmute, Vinita, my dear.
I am unmuted.
Yeah, you are. Go on.
Yeah, so I said Udhayanidhi is the minister of a state, so he needs to be responsible with his comments. And how can these, the representative say that, it was a mistake, or it was misconstrued? What did he say? He said it has to be eradicated. Sanatana Dharma, which is equivalent to Hinduism, has to be eradicated, which means a religion has to be eradicated. So almost more than 80% majority of the Tamil population itself are Hindus. Does that mean that all of them should stop following Hinduism as a religion? Supreme Court itself has given a stop on all kinds of statements that trigger religious sentiments in the country. So it's absolutely anti-national what has happened in the conference, and whatever Udhayanidhi spoke was absolutely beyond any no educated person would speak like the way he spoke.
Yeah.
And it just reflects on his own education and his own understanding of philosophies and concepts. As a minister, he needs to be more well informed.
Yeah, Mr. Xavier, also the thing is that what I read when they said that we shall take legal action, he says bring it on. Now, of course, he must have said it in Tamil, not in English. In English, it sounds even more ridiculous. Bring it on. Once again, he is a serving, sitting minister. When you laugh at legalese in that fashion, I think it is very, very irresponsible for you to do that. Bring it on. I mean, he's not standing in an arena telling the other boxer to, hey, bring it on. Let's have it out. What is going on? Some boxing match in Tamil Nadu?
In terms of Udhayanidhi's style and diction and the way he speaks, but he says, you can file as many cases as you want on me, I'll face it. So it was that remark that he has made. Now, explaining one of the impacts of such a speech is it has become the way that the entire national politics is kind of, being people like the Home Minister, somewhere in Rajasthan or wherever, are talking more about it. Now, what is happening is, there is a lot more traction that is happening, a lot more fire that's coming out of the speech that he has done. Now, Udhayanidhi is right or wrong, we will keep it aside right now. Now, look at the impact it is creating. This is exactly people want in politics before the election, isn't that right? What you speak creates impact and then makes more impact. Now, this kind of responses is what makes politics right now. That's the situation of politics right now. The issues that are far beyond issues of poverty and hunger and corruption and various other things are not getting enough limelight.
Mr. Xavier, that is the nature of the beast. I'm sorry, sir, but that is the nature of the beast, and that is how it is happening. Also about Brahminical hegemony, I want to say this before I wrap this up, that in a couple of weeks ago, two little children, in a school, I mean, their classmates went to their house to attack them with a sickle. There was no upper caste there. These were intermediary caste. I think the DMK needs to look inwards to see that it is no more about this caste. They need to understand that they need to clear the muck which is actually stinking up their own home, and they need to zip it up, because I think speaking out of turn and speaking about things that one doesn't know, whether in politics or in life, will cost them very dearly. I think today, like you said, Mr. Xavier, that what has it done? It's created an impact. Tomorrow, if there is public disturbance, who's going to be responsible for this? Who? A minister?
Now, the whole point is, look at the speeches that are fiery speeches made by all the leaders today.
Good.
They are totally uncivil.
So two wrongs don't make a right,
It's
Mr.
totally
Xavier.
uncivil.
And particularly when you are in power and you are the ruling dispensation in Tamil Nadu, you need to be very careful no, I'm speaking about Tamil Nadu right now, and I'm speaking that Udhayanidhi Stalin and MK Stalin, they are for all Tamils. It is not there, they're only for a handful of Tamils, and law and order is something that they are responsible for, sir. There is no way. I'm going to stick my neck out. The man needs to read up. It is time that he reads up and is very careful and circumspect.
We need a retraction of what he said.
Yes, absolutely. He should come out and say, because it is not just about one type of Hindu, it's about a lot of others, whether it is Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Sikhs, anybody. I think the Constitution is the book that we all have to uphold. Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin needs to learn that. Thank you very much all for joining me on this debate. Thank you indeed. Our second story is coming from Karnataka, and it's a major political churning which is taking place in the state. In Karnataka BJP, several Lingayat leaders have raised the demand for a Lingayat leader in the party. Pradeep Shettar, an MLC, has even demanded that the BJP in charge of the state should be changed. Speaking to the media in Hubli, he said that the defeat of Lingayat leaders in the state was the reason for the defeat of the party during the assembly elections. It is indeed a fact, if you may recall, that the exit of ex-Chief Minister Jagadish Shettar did have a major impact in the party, which lost ground amongst the strong Lingayat community in the state. Now, what is worse in this entire story is that differences have crept between former Chief Minister B.S. Yadurappa and BJP National Organizing Secretary B.L. Santosh, and it is all now out in the open. Apparently, and I am adding the word with careful consideration, apparently every BJP Karyakarta now knows. It became very evident, when sources said how Santosh wanted C.T. Ravi to be the state president, while the cadre wanted someone from the Lingayat community to take the mantle. However, C.T. Ravi, who is a Vokkaliga, also met B.S. Yedurappa to seek his blessing. So, look at politics. I mean, all kinds of things happen, but the major friction is still there. The factionalism within the Karnataka BJP is very clear, and experts say that it may result in many leaders actually deserting the party ahead of the Lok Sabha elections next year. The reason being the meeting called by B.L. Santosh last week. You know why this meeting was called? It was called to strategize for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. And guess who was absent from the meeting? B.S. Yedurappa, former Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai and Karnataka BJP President Nalin Kumar Katil. Very, very important people, but they were not there in the B.L. Santosh meeting. The meeting called by Santosh was held on a day when flight service from Bengaluru to Shimoga was launched, for which Yedurappa was an invitee. Now, the grapevine has it that the day was chosen deliberately to keep B.S. Yedurappa out. That's why he was absent. There are obviously two camps in Karnataka BJP. The first is led by B.S. Yedurappa, whose influence in the state BJP is kind of coming down, and which the party central leadership believes is costing the party very dear. The other is led by B.L. Santosh, who is trying to assert his place in the state at the expense of the former Chief Minister. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because a lot of activity is bound to happen before the Lok Sabha elections. Because remember one thing, the BJP lost the assembly elections. It has to do something to overhaul itself and its party for the Lok Sabha elections. And with this factionalism, it seems that it's going to be a very, very tough game ahead. But you know the Bharatiya Janata Party, it can pull out rabbit from its hat at any time. So we'll bring you more on the story as we go along. The South Indian now says Vanakkam, Namaskara, Namaste to all of you. I hope you enjoyed the show, and do write us to it, and also exchange whatever you have. You can come on to YouTube, talk to me, leave comments. You don't have to always praise. Please criticize me as much as you want to. Until tomorrow, Vanakkam.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through